kind of kicks up some dust.
Reminds me of my homeboy job.
Well, I was in Dallas. I was here.
I don't eat bananas are fucking nasty.
And you don't like bananas, man?
Hell no, I hate bananas.
We'll hide it so the camera can't see it.
You want to know something? When I was so I have my grandmother, right? She lives in Tennessee.
Okay.
Lives with my granddad. So she tried to put, we were eating breakfast. She tried to put bananas in my Frosted Flakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sat there and told her, I don't eat bananas.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, you're going to eat a banana today. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't eat bananas.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she just thought I was bullshitting or whatever.
Yeah.
And ate the cereal, ate around the bananas. I'm not eating bananas. I do not eat bananas, right? So she was like, if you don't eat bananas, you can't eat sweets today. Okay.
It's a fact.
Okay, that's fine. I won't eat candy. I'm not eating a banana.
I'm not really a candy guy anyways. I don't think even that when I was a kid, well, my parents didn't really let me eat that sugar, like the sugary candy. You know what I mean?
I was like, whatever. I don't care. So cool. Then she goes out to go tell my granddad Charnel's refusing to eat his banana. So he comes in the house. I heard you in this house disrespecting your grandmother. No.
Is this your mom's parents or your dad's parents?
My mom's. It's my mom's mom and then her husband.
Okay.
So then she was like, he was I heard you in here disrespecting your grandmother. No. I just don't eat bananas. What are we talking about? And then he was, I keep in mind, I'm probably like 8 or 9 at this time.
Right.
So he's like, you either go eat that banana or I'm gonna whoop your ass. All right, bro.
You ate the banana?
Ate the banana, right?
Uh-huh.
I immediately threw up. Immediately threw up. Then that nigga started apologizing on some I didn't know, on some bullshit. My grandmother, it gets upset. And then she's calling my mom about like the whole banana thing.
Yeah.
And my mom goes, oh, Trino doesn't eat bananas. He doesn't like bananas.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't throw up. And she goes, he did throw up.
Yeah.
And she's like, he doesn't eat bananas.
Would you, if you had a grandchild or like a child, would you be like a tight ass?
If it was my child, I'm more than likely going to be a tight ass.
Because, you know, like the same, when it comes to grandparents, I don't really have that much experience with grandparents for real.
Yeah.
But I do remember this one time, my grandma, she was making me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I was like, I didn't want to eat it because the crust was still up there. And she got tight because she was like, I'm not cutting the crust off. And it was like the same thing. Like I wouldn't eat it because the crust wasn't off or whatever. And would you cut the crust off for your kid? What if they just didn't like the crust? You know what I mean?
It's
like I don't like when parents be like demanding
the crust off.
It's almost the same as if like the homeless people that be like you be giving them food and they're like, I don't really want that. And then the people be taken aback like, oh, how dare you not? It's almost like, how dare you not like anything that I give you because you're homeless? Like a homeless person can't not like, whatever, you know? They can't not like a banana. What if you gave a banana to a homeless person? They're like, I don't like bananas.
Okay.
Are you going to look at them in disgust like, well, fuck you, you know? How dare you not give or enjoy the scraps I'm giving you, no matter what it is?
Okay, that's a little harsh.
How dare you have standards? How dare you have taste buds?
That's a little
How
harsh.
dare you? How?
That's a little harsh.
No, I'm saying, would you take that same stance? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Because I've
Probably
seen videos on like Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, about like, you know, like I said, somebody giving a homeless person like a cheeseburger. And the homeless guy's like, I don't like cheeseburgers. And then the person gets all upset like, what the fuck? That's kind of shitty, you know? So I take that same stance with like a kid. Like if I had a kid and like, you know, they didn't like whatever, you know, if they didn't like steak, I wouldn't press them, you know, just because like they don't fuck with steak, you know.
it's very situated. Like if it's like known, like if I know they don't like something, and then I purposely give it to them, and then they just don't eat it,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be mad at them.
So what if you made a whole meal and they're like, I don't really want this.
Then don't eat. You're not eating then.
Okay, I guess that's a good stand.
There's two, I don't know. I mean, that same story again. I had a different story with my mom. My mom pretty much tried to do that shit. Like, I don't eat mushrooms. My mom's put mushrooms in the spaghetti.
Yeah.
And then was like, "You gonna eat?" And she was like, "You're not getting them from this table until you eat this."
Yo,
I stayed there till 9 o'clock at night at the table. I ended up sleeping at the table, and then like at like 10, probably like 10 o'clock, my mom was like, "Turn on TV, to bed." I was like, "All right, cool." And I went to sleep.
Yo, my mom was hit or miss.
fuck?
It really depended on like what mood she was in.
Mm-hmm.
Some nights, if I came home and she was making something, and I was like, I don't really want that. Sometimes she would make me what I want, and then just save whatever she made for like another night. But then other nights, it was like, nah, you shit out of luck. Like this is all you're making. But I don't know. I don't know. But I don't really like cooking like that. So I'll probably be like on some like, yo, this is it.
It's very
Either that. If you don't want this, we can go buy something. But I'm not cooking. I'm not cooking 3 different things.
Nah, we're not doing that.
Why not?
We not. If you don't want to fucking eat it, and I'm gonna go out and buy you to go buy a new meal for you.
Why? Yeah, why?
Nigga, please.
If you got it like that. What if you got it like that? If you don't got it like that, then cool.
No, because so there's 2 parts of that, right? I understand, like
or if you just gave them $20, it was like, yo, just order whatever, bro. Like,
nah.
Why?
Because in life you can't just always get what you want.
Like I disagree because if I had it like that, like when I have kids and I had it like that, I think I would move crazy. Like I would be like, yo, I went through the depths of hell to make it for myself, to supply you with just choices in life. Like, yo, what car do you want, bro? Like, where do you want to go to school at? Like, I want my kids to just have like whatever they want, but still have those kind of like morals and principles of like a good person.
Here's the thing though with that, right? If you sit there, you continue to do shit like that, right? Then you're essentially creating like a point to where in their mind is like, if I want something else, then I can get whatever I want. And that leads to like spoiledness and like entitlement. And like you're not entitled to shit.
I think it's a flip side to that though, right? Because if you're used to getting stuff, right? And then you say, cause I know like me personally, I was relatively spoiled, right? Like like we didn't have it like that, but like I was spoiled within the confines of their
ability to provide.
Yeah. So with that being said, I grew up. Now it's like I'm gonna get what I want no matter what. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go for it, and like I think there's something good in there. Versus like if somebody just tells you, well, that's just what it is. Do you think that evolves into you having a bit of complacency as an adult, like I'm in this situation, I guess I'm just gonna deal with it because
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
I see what you mean, but there's 2 sides of that, right? Because I was still like very much on that type time when I was growing up to where like my mom, again, I told you all these stories like my mom, yo, you're gonna eat this shit or whatever the fuck, and I was like, nigga, no, I'm not. So there's that side, but then again, on the flip side of that, you got the whole, looking at like my dad or whatever, right? Again, we're not rich, but we're definitely like, we weren't poor. So like I'm seeing my dad, just randomly call me, hey, Bubba, come downstairs. I got a new Tahoe. I got a new truck. Oh, I just got this X5 built. I returned it. I got this 7 Series BMW convertible top wheel now. I got white. I'm seeing all that stuff, but I also seen everything that he did took work. So like seeing what he did, but seeing that there was just work that went behind that, instilled in me. It's like, hey, I want to be able to do the shit that my dad did. I want to be able to tell my kids, we about to go on a cruise. but I know that takes work. So now it makes me want to work too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm now 26. You know, it's like I'm still working. You know, I could definitely be working harder, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know, if I want something, I'm gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just respectfully, you know, just depends, but more than likely, I'm gonna get it.
Right. Right.
There are very, very few things that, you know, in life that, you know, that I've wanted that I don't get.
Right.
And those are like things like I couldn't achieve, and that's just because it wasn't my opportunity
Yeah.
to get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You don't want them to be spoiled, but you want to be able to get to a point to where they still are working and understand that, hey, life isn't always handed to you.
Right.
You're gonna have to go out, bust your ass, and get shit. You know, regardless. Because even if you got it like that and you still provide them with that opportunity, you still want them to have that own hunger and desire to go out and work and then take what you have given them and the opportunities and everything you presented for them, and they can take it further.
See, that's what I want. I want my kids to like take everything I amass in life and do that shit. I don't even want my kids to know what a job is or like that sort of like grind, like that day-to-day grind. I want just a lump sum of money, right? Give it to them, give them the knowledge and everything that I kind of obtained, and then say, yo, move this money around, like whether it be real estate or if they want to start a business or whatever. And, you know, and don't work for nobody. Don't like.
They got, so like all like the rich people, right? Like not I want to say all of them, but a lot of them, you know, they have their kids work at their company and work their way up through the company or whatever. So they can still appreciate, you know, hey, whenever you walk into a place, you know, you speak to the janitor just as you would speak to the COO. Still have that level of respect and, you know, like admiration and understand that, hey, you know, they're providing a job and a service. So that's kind of where I'm at with that is like, you know, I don't want to sit here and just hand something to you because again, life's not always handed to you. Right. You know, if I give you this opportunity to where you can get a job, you know, you're not just going to get handed, you know, fucking $500,000 worth of people coming in and providing you services and all this shit. And, you know, no, you have to work as far as, you know, maintaining customers, maintaining relationships, services, you know, maintaining, you know, your workers, the people who are working for you, those relationships.
So you think your kid has to go through that to learn that type of stuff? You can't just teach them how to respect people?
It's very situation based because you can't, not every child.
I think it depends. I think you could send your son or your daughter to like any sort of you know, job or anything like that, and they can still be a piece of shit, really. Like, it's all. I think it's such a crapshoot.
It depends on the person because you can have like me and my siblings, right?
I think it depends on you because your kid's gonna emulate you at the end of the day.
Not necessarily.
You know what I mean? So you don't think so? I think
they're still their own person. You know, like my mom has 5 kids. I'm the oldest of 5. Right, and we're all different.
Right.
You know, we were all still raised by the same woman, but, you know, all of us see life differently. We do things differently, you know, so that's what I'm saying. You know, she still raises all the same, like, levels of respect or whatever, but it doesn't, how we interpret life, how we see life, how we interpret people and valuing people is all different.
If you had a daughter, would you want them to, Would you be fine with your daughter being a housewife?
No.
Why not?
I want to. Okay.
Would you want your wife to be a housewife?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
So
what if you had it like that and you were just like
no?
You were just like, yeah, why not?
No.
If I had it like that, if I had it like that, and I'm home and I'm like, damn, bro, like I miss my wife. And then it just starts becoming a pattern like, yo, you don't need to work. Like, I just want you to, like, kick it with me all day.
No.
Still have your hobbies so you're not a pain in my ass, right? Like, go to the gym, go do, you know, whatever, you know, whatever hobbies you might have. But, like, in terms of, like, being gone all day, when we could go to Italy, we can go
I'm
wherever and just
I'm
kind
not
of kick it.
necessarily saying she needs to have like a 9 to 5, even if like I'm saying like I at that point where I got it like
Like
that.
a real estate agent.
Not even necessarily that. I want her to do something, you know, to where, because there's two sides. One side of it, I keep saying there's two sides.
She
to
handles
shit.
the kids.
No,
Why not?
no. The one part of it is I don't want her to just rely on me, because at the end of the day, the level of love that is there for us that I have for her, if anything ever happens between us and we were to get divorced or anything like that, I don't want her to be on some like, what am I gonna do now? Or she's only with me for the fact of the matter that I provide. I don't want someone to be with me just because I've been around people to where they've sat there and told me, yo, my wife just told me, if I didn't have $7 in my bank account, I would leave you. A man came to work and told me his wife told him, nigga, if I didn't have $7 in my bank account, I would leave you.
Does this person watch this podcast?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Dude probably don't even know I have a podcast.
Yo.
But that's what I'm saying.
I see it from that point. But it's such a weird thing, like relationships and love versus like money and resources, because it's just like, how do you know, like to your point, you know, how do you know, you might be maybe newly married or whatever, and then you have it like that, you tell her to quit the job, and then it might get to a point where like now it is like a survival thing for her, where it's like, damn, like he's kind of getting, becoming a pain in my ass. I don't really fuck with him like that, but I don't gotta worry about nothing. So it's like she don't really fuck with you like that. That's what I'm saying.
I can't, bro. That's one of like the worst things too, to where it's like, she's not there with you because she loves you.
You think Jeff Bezos' wife fucks with him like that?
I mean, yeah, she left her husband.
What does that mean?
Then again, her husband won't Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, like
she hit in a bitch too.
Yeah. Yo, if I was Jeff Bezos, I'd be with like, I don't even know, like name like the baddest of the bad, like you said, like she's
Zendaya.
Okay, yeah. Keep going.
Ash Cash.
Okay.
Fucking Claremont twins.
Yeah, the twins. You can get the twins off with 300-something billion too. You could probably get some triplets off too.
Oh, you thought I meant just each one of them individually?
Yeah.
No, I meant all of them, nigga. Bro, Lotto's gonna have her own mansion. Zendaya's gonna have her own castle because that's gonna be my queen.
Lotto. Oh, did you see Lotto? She was in the. Everybody was talking. This don't even sound like something I'd know off the top of my head, but I was scrolling. I was on the toilet earlier, and I was scrolling, and dang, he got hit in the face like that.
You getting distracted. What did you see on the toilet?
Lotto was in the fitting room with some old man, and they're like, "Oh, well, that's her security." But like, she was in the fitting room, like trying on like bikinis and shit like that, and it was just this old white man, like sitting down on the little chair next to her, watching her, like in the fitting room.
I didn't see that, but I don't know.
Look it up. But they were saying that maybe he was like, she was with him, and like he was taking her shopping and like, tricking and shit like that.
How old was she?
He?
How old was she?
Lotto?
Yeah.
Like today. Like,
nah.
Like current day. Like this happened like a couple days ago or whatever.
Nah. Something's not lining up.
That's hate. What, the old white guy can't take Lotto out? What's up? You sound like a hater right now. You sound like you hate him because the old white man's hitting and not you.
Not Lotto.
Why? Yo, that's hate.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, if she's been sitting here talking about she got a man.
That's the man.
Everyone been sitting here talking about it's been 21 Savage.
Why? No.
If it's an old ass man.
No, it is Gerald. Gerald is knocking that shit down, bro. Frank, that's his name? Or that's the name you made up?
I just made that up.
Yo, Gerald is knocking that shit down, bro.
Lotto with old man?
Yeah. Lotto with old man in the dressing room.
Let's say this says Lotto and her dad.
Nah, that wasn't her dad. Well, maybe
Lotto's mama?
She look all right.
hell.
Well, hold on. Why would it be her dad in the fitting room with her? Right?
I don't know.
Now
That's your daughter, though. Like, I don't think you look at your daughter like that.
You're going in the fitting room with your daughter, and your daughter's a grown ass woman.
Probably not a grown
That's
ass
what
woman,
I'm
but if she's a
saying.
kid,
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about grown ass Lotto. You still looking it up? I should have saved it.
because this doesn't make sense.
It's hate. Oh my God. Yo, Gerald's knocking that shit down, bro.
No, he's not.
Yeah, Lotto is different.
Whatever.
Bro.
It's not important.
You have Lotto and all them. You had 300 something billion. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, how, bro? Why? I just don't get it, bro. Like
that, bro. She looked like she's on an episode of Botched. Her face looks
Bro.
fucked.
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
What?
I want to probably get a Prime deal in the future to where like our podcast is exclusively on Prime.
That ain't happening because you just said his wife what? Is chop, hit, ugly as hell.
All right. Did I say ugly as hell?
Something like that.
I don't know if I'm saying that.
Damn, bro.
She beautiful.
Bro, if I had 300 something billion, bro.
She is there's levels of beauty, and you know we all have different levels of expectations of thinking what beautiful is.
Damn, bro.
And to him, that's his queen.
Listen,
A nigga like me would never.
300 billion, bro. You already know. Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose and Shenseea. Oh,
What about SZA?
SZA's cool. But Ruby Rose and Shenseea,
Are they
oof,
each getting their own mansion?
they can get whatever they want. Anything. Whatever. You
Prenup.
need. Huh? No.
Prenup.
No.
You're tripping.
Nah. 300. Yo, first of all, what's his name? Bezos got divorced like a couple years ago.
Yes.
She got like half. And he's
Yes.
still up. Like he made that right back.
Nah.
So it don't even. And now she's like one of the richest women in the world. So it's
Yes.
like the
Nah.
prenup didn't even mean nothing to him.
Nah,
Like he
I'm
just
getting
got
a
that shit
prenup.
right back.
I'd get a prenup now.
Why?
Cause like, bitch, take care of your own shit.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had a daughter, how would you feel? Well, I guess you would want your daughter, you said, to have her own shit.
Yes. So prenup, take care of her own things.
Do you do you think your girl should pay half the rent? What's your stance on that?
It's very
Paying rent.
it's very situation based.
How?
Because if I'm making way more,
I'm talking about right now, 20-something years old.
right now, me being 26. No, if my girl lived with me, no, I would pay for the rent, but like she would just pay for other shit to where it would kind of even out. You know what I mean? Like
What? What would she pay for?
Like
Groceries.
utilities, like, you know, and
But what? All that wouldn't amount to. Say your rent is $1,500.
okay,
Okay, so you pay $1,500, right? Groceries. Okay, in a month, how much you think? What, like $400 or $500?
yeah.
Okay.
Power probably gonna run you about 100, 150.
Okay. So now you're at 600.
Okay, and then Wi-Fi 65.
Okay.
What else?
The streaming shit.
All the streaming shit.
Now
That's
you're
probably
looking
like
at
200.
like $700-800. You still got $700 left.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So would you do half and half or what? Would you
See,
say, yo, you got,
that-
you gotta pay, you gotta send half the rent, bro?
That half and half shit is just, I feel like it's just a pain in the ass. Like, and like, at what point, when do we stop? Like where do we have and have everything? Like, oh, your half of the water bill, the power bill.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where does that?
No. Half and half on the rent, and then you take a bill, I take a bill, and then grocery shopping, you get it one time, I get it the next time. Like both,
Oh, that's cool.
Both of y'all are contributing to the household, especially because you know a lot of times I see a lot of these young girls, and maybe you know
I feel like it depends. Like, if I make, it depends on how much she's making. If her and I are both making like an equivalent amount of money,
let's say y'all both making like 40-50 grand.
ew.
Okay, I'm just talking about like like
I'm sorry.
20-something year old,
I'm sorry.
right? I'm just saying like 20-something,
Nigga
20.
said 40.
No,
Ew.
because like if you're
That was wrong.
40
I'm
something,
sorry.
like you're probably making a lot more. I'm just talking about like in your 20s, right?
Never mind.
But okay, cool, Mr. Fucking Big Daddy
No,
Warbucks
I'm
over
not.
here.
I'm not.
But
Nigga, I'm broke. I'm broke.
if you make 50 grand each,
Okay. Yes, if we both made 50 grand, then yes. Part of me was thinking like, if I'm making more money, like if I'm making what I'm making and she makes like 20, 30.
stop making your own scenario.
No, but
answer the scenario I'm giving you.
But
if
I'm
it's
saying,
50,
but you said my girl.
Okay, we get it. We know what you make. I'm just talking about blank, just to the general population.
50-50.
If both of y'all making 50,000.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
50-50 on everything?
Not again, yeah.
On
yeah.
most things.
Yes.
Okay.
You know. But then again, I told you this too. How I feel about that is, you know, it depends on. I want to live in a place to where if something ever happened to her job, I need to be able to take care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single thing.
Yeah.
You know. So that's a flip side. I don't know, maybe. If I could, then as long as I'm still able to take care of everything, then yes, we'll still split everything 50-50 while she still has that job.
Because I think, you know, a lot of, I don't know if it was like this back in the day, right? But a lot of women nowadays expect everything to just be like paid for and supplied to them and everything else.
These non-traditional women want traditional values.
Especially if they look good, it's like, yo, they expect the world. You know what I mean? And granted, they could probably get it from somebody. But damn, you know what I mean? Like at 20-something years old, most 20-something year olds can't fully like pay for everything.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
And all this shit.
All of that is one of those that's like I don't know, because I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and talk down about women and shit like that, but at what point do you sit there and continuously keep pushing yourself aside to where it's like, now motherfuckers not even finna keep checking for you?
What do you mean?
Like, if you sit there and be like, yo, I want a man that does this.
Oh, I see what you mean.
6 foot tall, six figures, you know, he got to drive a fucking Benz truck, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's like, you sitting there, you 35, still looking for that?
Yeah.
And that motherfucker is not going to be checking for you.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's true.
I feel like, you know, like, unless you really, really, like, got it like that and you actually are, like, attracting the things that you're searching for and, you know, you're finding something, then cool. You know, make that work. You know, absolutely, honey, get your money. But
see, it's like, I feel like IG got the 6 and 7s thinking they 10s. And they expecting that 10 treatment.
It's not IG. It's these niggas.
Well, I mean, shit, guys too, men too. Like,
that
it's
be
just
out
like
here like
tricking and shit.
I don't even think it's necessary, bro. I've definitely kicked it with a girl, chilling at her crib. We sitting there, you know, we sitting there vibing out and shit or whatever. She sat there. She looks at me. She's like, I kind of want some Chick-fil-A. I was like, cool. You want to go grab some?
Yeah.
She was like, nah, what do you want? I was like, chicken sandwich, American cheese, no
She
pickles.
treated?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Picked up that phone.
Ain't it kind of refreshing when a girl like try to offer to pay for something? It's like,
hold on.
ooh.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. Went to that phone. Went to that contact.
Yeah.
Went straight to food delivery service. The contact name was food delivery service. Called him. Ring, ring, ring. He said, hey, my love. She said, yo. And he was like, what's up? And she was like, nothing. I'm sitting here. Kind of mood for some Chick-fil-A. You want me to come grab it for you? Yeah. I want boom, 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 boom. So her order, my order. He was like, all right, cool. I'll go ahead and grab that shit. I'll be back. And then I looked at her and I was like,
yo.
I was like, damn, nigga.
Where were y'all at?
Her crib.
And he came and dropped it off?
Yes.
Did he see you?
No.
Yo, that's sick, bro.
I was in the crib. And then
that's sick work.
So I'm looking through the window, right? I'm looking through the window. He tried to get a hug from her.
Yeah.
She gave him one of the sidearm ones. He tried to get a kiss.
Yo, let
he
me
tried
get a
to
hug.
He tried to get a kiss. She looked at him. She said, "We don't do that."
Oh.
Takes the food and walks into the crib. It's like, "Here's your food."
How old were you? How old were you?
22?
Yo, that's
22,
so-
23?
Oh my God, bro. Imagine going out that sad, bro.
Bro, I'm in the crib. Bro, this nigga paid for my food.
Bro, imagine going out that sad. Bro.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. Some men really have like that ego to where like they can't, like, I could never let another man. Shit.
Another man what?
Another man buy my food. Nigga, please. I sat right there and ate that shit. And that nigga got an extra chicken sandwich.
You ate it?
Hell yeah.
Yo, I got you an extra one for later.
Yes. Bro.
I got you an extra one for later.
Bro, because again, my food, her food, and then he got an extra one. Just in case.
Yo, that's you heard that new Drake?
Oh yeah. I meant to ask you about that. Drake literally
That new Drake.
Drake had a surprise drop and it was titled "What Did I Miss?" What do you think he missed? I'm gonna tell you what he missed.
Mm-hmm.
This nigga was really sitting here thinking that he was him, and all these motherfuckers around him did not like that. They are like, bro, you've been the top dog for God knows how long. Fuck that. We want to take your spot. And he's sitting over here looking around. I thought we was cool. Nigga, I put you on. I put you on. I gave you your first number one. I gave you your first number one. Nigga, we did an album together.
Uh-huh.
What a nigga, I got you tattooed.
Uh-huh.
What is going on? I don't know, man. You know, he's targeting Kendrick, you know, former collaborations such as YG, Mustard, Ty Dolla $ign, all of them showing up to Kendrick Lamar's pop-out concert that happened Juneteenth. And then he also implied shots at LeBron James, DeMar DeRozan, the Weeknd, Rick Ross, you know, Future.
Here, lower
you
your
know.
mic a little bit.
Why?
Because I noticed in the past episodes, like, it's covering your face.
I'm hiding. I don't want people to see me.
Look,
I'm misunderstood.
lower it. You're not going to lower it? Because I did notice it when I was editing the past couple times.
I'm misunderstood. Ugh. But how do you feel about it?
Man, like, I think that he's going to come out crazy. I hope he doesn't have any features on this album. I hope it's just him. Because like you said in the song, you know, like
He didn't say that he's not doing any more features again. It's just
I'm
like,
saying
new
I'm
features.
saying I hope he doesn't. I hope he
Oh,
doesn't.
yeah.
Because I mean, it shows like everybody really kind of just try to get him out of here. You know what I mean? And him and The Weeknd had some shit for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But him and Future, I was like, damn, bro. You know, Metro. Who else did he kind of have a falling out with? The whole LeBron thing.
Metro, Braun, Kendrick, YG, Mustard,
All them.
Future. I think him and Future trying to get cool again. Rick Ross.
Rick Ross, that's another way, bro.
Rick Ross needed to mind his
listen,
fucking business on that.
I hope this album, it's just
Kanye
nobody.
tried it.
I hope it's nobody up there. And it's just hit after hit
Oh,
after
he
hit.
probably gonna have
Bro,
your boy up there.
None of y'all are getting features. None of y'all getting nothing from me.
He's probably
And
gonna
I'm
have
gonna
your boy
still
up there.
I'm gonna run this shit for the next 5 to 10 years still. I hope he does that shit, bro.
Are you listening?
To what?
He's probably gonna have your boy up there.
Who?
Smiley.
Hell yeah. I fuck with Smiley.
He gonna put that two Mazda up there.
That shit, bro. Whenever him and Smiley get together, it's just hard. But yeah, listen, I don't want nobody on that album, bro. You know, I wish he made more music with Thames though. I fuck with Thames. Oh shit, Scissors, all that shit with Scissors probably cut off because she was on tour with Kendrick. But I'm telling you, man, I feel like this album for real. Like the past several albums, the consensus was like, you know, it's all right, whatever. I think Iceman is gonna be up there. It's gonna be one of his best albums.
I don't understand.
Because I think he's coming with a vengeance. I think he has some, not
what the
necessarily
fuck
to
the problem
prove,
is?
but it's just like
It's to
all
prove
right, bro.
something.
it's like, all right, listen, I let y'all run amok a little bit. Nah, I'm here. It's me still.
I don't understand what the problem is though. Like, what the fuck? Like,
They was
like,
hated. Like he's
but
been
that's
on
why I
top
don't-
for the past 15 years since we was in middle school.
yeah,
Best I ever had. All that. He's
But
been at the top. He's
still.
been fucking everybody's bitch. That's like 30% of the problem. I think Rick Ross had a problem with that. That's the reason Future wasn't really fucking with him. He's
But-
on top. He's hitting.
Future made a song saying I fucked your bitch in Gucci flip flops. You cannot be mad when a nigga fucks your bitch.
Hold on, that's not true.
What do you mean?
That's
Future
not
didn't
true.
make a song saying I fucked your bitch in some Gucci flip flops.
Yeah, but the girl that
Scottie Pippen.
he could be mad. He don't gotta be mad.
Nah,
But Future's mad that Drake
if-
fucked his girl.
No, if you're the dude who's out here making it seem as if you don't give a fuck about no bitches, you out here
Hell
just fucking
nah.
bitches. Nah, bro,
No
you
way.
cannot be mad when nigga fucks your bitch because your
No.
whole persona is you don't give a fuck about these bitches.
Nah, bro.
No, nigga, what? That doesn't make
You
sense.
could be the most nonchalant guy in the world, but you gonna have a couple girls that you genuinely like, and if somebody that's close to you or one of your dude, I
If
don't know,
your
I don't know
whole
their
persona
personal
is-
relationship, right? Drake and Future, how close are they really? I mean, nobody really knows.
Yeah.
But say they were cool or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I believe they were cool enough to make music together and be in the same spheres,
Bro.
But if your boy
Nah.
fucks your girl, you gonna be like, damn, bro, like I thought.
Nah.
That's a
Again,
different story versus
if-
if it's some dude that you don't even know, you probably not gonna care. You're gonna be mad at her, not him. But if it's your boy, somebody that you work with, that you do business with, and then he
Nah.
fucks your girl, like that's a whole different dynamic.
If we sat here and had on this pod, making it seem as if, right, like you don't give a fuck about none of these bitches.
if you fuck my girl, I fuck your girl, we would have an issue with each
well,
other.
that's different.
How is that different?
It's not. We're not sitting here saying like, oh, Drake fucked 40's girl. Me and you aren't like. Me and you are probably a lot closer than Drake and Future. That's more than likely. That's probably just like an industry relationship. And like I said, when your whole persona is the fact that you give off that you don't give a fuck about bitches, go and fuck the nigga, get it over with. You can't make songs like that. And then when niggas be like, oh, this is how Future is. He don't give a fuck.
That's entertainment though.
Cool. But like I said, your whole persona is you don't give a fuck about bitches.
I guess.
So if you don't give a fuck about bitches, then nigga don't give a fuck about bitches. Don't be mad for the nigga who come in, smash one of your bitches.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, like you said, go ahead, get your AP back and don't worry about it. I don't know. And then, like
He's coming. Listen. This Iceman shit is gonna be.
we'll see.
That shit is gonna be album of the year. He's gonna be right back at the
Depends.
top. He gonna have 4 number ones, all that. He's coming for vengeance, man. And I kind of fuck with it. You know what I mean? Because honestly, that Kendrick shit was not that hot. That shit was not that
I'm gonna be honest with
great.
you.
That shit was alright. It was cool. I think they
To the
gassed the
masses,
hell
he
out of
won.
that shit.
To the masses, Kendrick won.
No,
My
I think
personal
he
opinion.
won because he kind of he did what you had to do to beat Drake. And with that, the viral moment, the video,
Yeah.
the OV hoes, the Super Bowl, just like Pusha T, right? He did what you have to do with Drake. You gotta hit him with the shock and
Damn,
awe.
her shit look fucked.
You got you got to hit him with the shock and awe, right? With the oh, he's got a baby,
Yeah.
You got to do shit like that to penetrate through the stardom of Drake. You got to do something like that.
Mhm.
So with the Super Bowl and everything that Kendrick did, like, he took a victory lap and he got the W. But if you're being objective, I don't know. Bro.
Everything's a matter of personal opinion. I definitely feel like there's
OV
different people out here.
hoes. What does OVO stand for? Other vaginal option. Like it's just like okay.
What does that mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like that. No, that's what
Other-
Kendrick said. That's what I'm saying.
Other
What does-
vaginal
yeah.
option.
So it's like what is that? What the fuck does that mean? Why is that so fucking?
Is
hot?
he saying like that's like another word? Like
I guess
other
he's calling him a
vaginal-
pussy. Maybe I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe, I don't
but
know.
like that's what I'm saying. It's just like okay. Like so what?
I think maybe this is me because I like Drake. You
Yeah.
know, I have.
I could be biased too because I fuck with Drake, but I could be objective. Like Euphoria was hard, you know what I mean? Or Meet the Grams, that was tough. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I think they gassed the hell out of that shit. And I think they pushed that shit. That's why Drake sued UMG and all that. I think he had a legit case because they were really, gassing that shit. And I think Drake,
but they pushed his shit too the same exact way.
But Drake, I think he needed to be knocked down a little bit. You know what I mean? Just like the same way the whole conspiracy theory behind Diddy is that alcohol company Diageo owed him like $2 billion, and that's who was really behind trying to knock him down so they didn't have to give him that $2 billion. I think Drake's been talking a little spicy the past few years about the CEO of UMG, Lucian Grange or whatever.
Yeah.
Like in his music, he's like, yo, who's really bringing the money in, blah, 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 blah. Like talking cash shit. And it's like, all right, bet. You think you bigger than the label and shit like that? All right, bet. Watch this. And then the Kendrick thing happened. They started pushing Kendrick and all that. I think that's why I think his lawsuit has credence. There's credence to that.
If he went like private, not private, but you know what I mean, like
Independent.
Independent.
Yo, imagine that. Imagine if Drake dropped an album and everybody just goes to his website. How much would you pay for a Drake album? I'd pay if he charged like $100. I would probably spend $100.
Nah.
Yeah, you would.
If he did it,
if there was no other way you can get it except going to the website and obviously there's other ways, like they could probably like black market or like not black market, that's a little too dark, but like recording it and distributing it. But
if he did it like Tory Lanez.
What did he do?
Tory Lanez dropped his album as an NFT and sold it for like $1. He had 1 million copies of it for $1.
Exactly.
And them shit sold out in like under 5 minutes.
So like if there was a
way
way to do that and you can't copy it or whatever, I think he could charge $100.
Not $100.
Yeah, bro.
I'm not paying $100 to listen to no fucking album.
You're not gonna pay $100.
No.
So if you're telling me Drake put out an album,
Yes.
and you can't listen to this shit unless you pay $100, you wouldn't pay $100?
No.
You wouldn't. You really wouldn't.
Fuck no.
I think there's enough people out there that would offset the people that wouldn't.
I would much rather just ride in the car with.
If 1 million people paid $100, he's making $100 million. He can pocket all that. And I think if there's anybody that could do that, it's probably Drake or Kendrick, of course, or somebody like that. Kanye, like those big dogs, right? Like they just create a website. I think the hardest part with that is like the logistics behind it.
What?
Like, okay, if I do it and I put it on this website, how many people would actually buy it versus how many people are just gonna like bootleg it and get it somehow, some other way without paying? Whereas like with a label, I guess they have access to the streaming services and, Drake or whoever gets paid in advance of like X amount, hundreds of millions of dollars. And then once they recoup it, whatever, it's more kind of like systematic. You know what I mean? Where it's more of a safer bet than like doing your own website and everything else. Even though, would you do $50?
I'd have to hear it first.
So you wouldn't pay $50?
Not all.
Would you pay $20?
Yeah.
30?
Yeah.
40?
That's where you're losing me.
35?
No, I think my
30?
cap. I think my.
You're fucking bullshitting. I know for a fact you would pay $50.
My cap is like 30 if I haven't.
Hell
listened
nah,
to
bro.
it.
You would pay $50 for that shit, bro.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think 30 off of like no listens, no nothing. Like if I heard it in the car with y'all and I was like, "Oh, that shit hard."
Yeah, and
I'll
then
pay
you
50.
and then you're on your way home from work,
That's what
and you're
I'm
like,
saying,
man, I
I'll
want to
pay
listen
50.
to that new Drake. It's like, oh well, I can't unless I pay this $100.
No, I'm not doing 100.
Yeah.
Fuck no. If it's 100, bro, fuck it. Nigga, I'll listen to Joe Budden podcast like I always do, bro. I don't give a fuck. There's not an artist.
I think the only person I
Juice WRLD could have got me to do that.
the only person I would do that for is probably Drake.
If Juice WRLD didn't die, I probably would have done that for Juice WRLD. I'm not gonna lie to you. Juice WRLD probably would have been my only person. Speaking of NFTs, yo, I was scrolling on Twitter, right? Scrolling on Twitter, and this guy said an anonymous person who made a $7,800 investment in Bitcoin back in 2011 has just touched their wallet for the first time in 14 years. How much money do you think it's worth now?
Probably like a couple $100 million.
$1.1 billion.
Damn. Yeah, bro.
Can you imagine you did something back in 2011 and then you go, I think
I think I bought some Bitcoin
I
back
did.
in the day.
I might have bought some Bitcoin.
You just got 1.1 billion.
You've had
Damn, bro.
over hundreds of millions of dollars.
What would you do with $1 billion?
What would I do with
Like
$1 billion?
magic wand, I give you $1 billion right now. What's the first thing you do? Outside of like family, like that boring shit. I'm talking about just like
no, that's boring. Fuck no, I'm not thinking about that. I'd open up. Which I was gonna tell you earlier. I'd probably open up a couple wing stops.
with $1 billion, you're gonna open up a Wingstop.
Not one, a couple.
A couple?
Because it's only
You have
takes
$1 billion, you're gonna open up a couple Wingstops. You wouldn't do anything more grandiose.
I'm probably gonna give each of my friends 10 wing stops. It costs $25,000 just open up one of them.
You have $1 billion, you'd give each of your friends $250,000. You cheap fuck.
I'm giving them 10 wing stops, and they will generate, each of them will generate at least 200 grand
You
worth
cheap
of revenue.
bastard. I would give if I had $1 billion, I would give each of my friends $1 million.
Guess what? And I'm talking about giving them a business that provides them with at least $2 million a year that they can use that money to then take care of their kids.
$2 million a year across 10 Wingstops.
Yes.
So each
That's
one
about
generates
200
$200,000 each.
240.
You're giving me a liability.
I'm giving
Now
you
I gotta operate 10 Wingstops. I'd rather you give me $1 million.
You can hire someone else to do that for
but why,
you.
Why can't you just give me a check and I'd start my own business, like a club or something?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you have the club idea, sure. Gene, I'd give Gene money to where he could, take his HVAC company further than what it is right now, to where it's just like Genius Heating and Cooling is everywhere. Motherfucker, you're not even gonna think to call anyone else other than Genius Heating and Cooling. Things like that, to where I want to give my friends the opportunity to where they can be financially independent. And we can all, of course, like I'm still that nigga, but we can still all do shit. We all on some like, yo, fuck it, let's go to fucking Dubai. Let's go to fucking the Maldives.
That's what I'm. Yeah, see, that's what I'm
Mykonos.
saying. Like, I would. I would set my friends up because it's like same thing. Like I was saying with my wife. Like, if I got it like that, bro, why do we gotta work? Let's go travel the world and kick it every day.
I want to give you an opportunity to where it's not just I give you a set amount of money, and then with that money is just going to continue to keep dwindling down. Give you something to where that like you'll have assets that I continue to appreciate.
Did somebody knock on the door?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything. It might have.
But yeah, $1 billion, bro.
It might have been this. You hear that?
Or maybe it was that. I didn't want anybody standing outside like you claimed to have been earlier.
Yeah, I'm sitting out here for. Oh, they're at the Coast Guard Exchange.
They're probably getting that alcohol.
Probably get more Don Julio, yeah.
Don, who's there?
Probably. Actually, Marshall and might be Sean.
Bro, we were talking about Chick-fil-A earlier.
Yeah, it costs a lot of.
Bro.
I'd open up a fucking Top Golf,
That's true. Yeah, Top Golf
and I'm gonna have a reserved fucking bay
for you only. So when
for
you want to go
me
in there?
only. If whatever time I want to go in there, I'm going, and no one. I swear, for God.
You heard that?
Yeah,
What is that?
that does sound like someone knocking on the door. You got the strap? Demus is going to get the gun. Nigga, open the door. No one was there?
What? Anyways, I was gonna say I was gonna say you're talking about Chick-fil-A earlier because I was sitting in line. I've had this thought before,
What?
but I was sitting in line at Chick-fil-A, and you know what drives me crazy about Chick-fil-A nowadays? Like, they have the people sitting out there with the little tablets,
Yeah.
and it's like, bro, I want to see the menu. You know what I mean? Like they're standing out there before you get a chance to like roll up to the window. You know what I mean? Or the little thing. Like,
Nigga, I even know what you're gonna get.
but maybe I want something else.
You're gonna get a deluxe chicken sandwich with pepper jack cheese on it. You're gonna get a fucking Sunjoy large,
Damn, how do you know
large
this?
French fry, and you're also gonna get a side of macaroni and cheese.
How do you? I feel bad. I don't even know your order. You know my order?
Nigga, I know you.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been around you.
But my
I've gotten you food.
my thing is like
Nigga say, how do you
my
know
thing is
my
like,
order?
yo, how arrogant is Chick-fil-A to just assume I know what I'm getting?
I know what
Because
you're getting.
you know they're sitting there with the tablet, and
Yeah.
I'm asking them like, well, what kind of I just like to visualize the menu or see the menu right in front of me. Like if I go to Wendy's, there's nobody out there. Like I can just roll up, I can take my time. Like when we go to Cookout late night, right?
Yes.
I like to look at the menu.
I might go to Cookout at night.
You know I like to look at the menu and see what milkshakes or whatever. Take my time, kind of.
Do you guys' blueberries, are they artificial blueberries or are they real blueberries? I don't like artificial blueberries. I said, nigga, are they organic? No, Demas. Cookout does not have organic blueberries.
I wanted to know
Shut up.
if it was real blueberries.
Is it the cheesecake part? Is it real cheesecake or is it just artificial flavoring? Oh my God. I said nigga.
Nah, but Chick-fil-A, y'all need to relax, bro, because people like me,
Why?
people like me, we want to see the menu.
For
I don't
you to
wa-
get the same shit.
No, that shit is so stressful. I'm like, bro.
So what I
like,
just said is what you're not gonna get.
sometimes it might be, other times it won't be. You know what I mean? Sometimes I might want to try something else. But like, bro, like
Nigga, it's
why,
chicken. It's
Why even have the menu up there? Just get rid of the menus. Just take them out. If y'all just
they
assume,
still hold the menu though.
if y'all, but see, that's the thing, bro. Like, I don't want nobody to show me the menu. Just have the menu. I don't want to talk to nobody because now they're in my face, they're in my car, expecting me to know what to get. No, bro, I don't know what I want to get.
Most people are gonna get the same shit though.
But see, I'm not most people. I need to see the menu. Yo, what y'all got?
And look at the menu and then get the same thing. The only thing is I could probably say is from Cookout you might get a different milkshake. Other than that, you're still gonna get the same thing from
And
there.
I don't even know what the difference is, like 1 through 10. Do you know what a number 6 is at Chick-fil-A?
No,
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, what are the options?
I don't order a number 6. I order a number 1.
But that's what I'm saying. What if
That's
you
it.
But what if you want to try something else? You don't try nothing else at Chick-fil-A?
No,
And you,
just like you don't try anything else from Cookout either.
I do.
You gonna sit here and try to tell me you don't get a hot dog with ketchup and onions on it and get a BLT with cheese curds and maybe a milkshake?
Not every time.
What else do you get? Or you
I
get
get-
that burger with the steak style
I get the burger,
big double
Sometimes
steak
I get
style.
the char grill or the chicken grilled chicken sandwich.
When?
I've gotten that before.
When?
Late night.
This nigga.
I don't be with you all the time late night at
This
Cookout.
nigga's lying.
I don't be with you all the time late night at Cookout. Listen, I try the cheese curds, hush
I
puppies.
said that.
Hush puppies sometimes. The quesadilla.
Never seen this nigga.
That
order a
yeah,
quesadilla.
yeah. You know it's another food spot
You
that
probably get
pisses
a
me off.
quesadilla, Yeah.
Huh?
I think I've seen you get a quesadilla
Yeah,
before.
the cheesecake chicken and cheese quesadilla.
Cheesecake, chicken, and cheese.
No, chicken and cheese.
Nigga said cheesecake, chicken, and cheese. Ew.
Yeah, you know it's another food spot that pisses me off.
America's Wings. America's Best Wings.
Them two. But before
That's just because you're racist.
damn no.
Hold on. I forgot we recorded for a second.
Yeah.
So Demas isn't really racist.
Oh my god.
Let me just put that out there. He's not actually racist.
No.
He just has the regular racism like everyone else, Like, why are they back there talking about bombs, Like that's just a Demas is regular racist, not like real like I hate coons racist.
Jesus Christ. No, but the other, the other food spot I hate is Cane's. That place is the
Yeah, the
most
same shit.
overrated spot, bro. I went through the menu or the
don't think-
drive-through,
I don't
bro.
think
The
it's
menu,
overrated.
there's only 4 things on that
Yes,
menu.
that's
bro.
what I'm saying. I don't think it's overrated. I
That
think
shit
it's
is
simple.
That shit is so fucking stupid.
You know what's real funny?
What?
So the founder, right? He sat there. He had that idea, and then the guys was like, "No one's gonna like." They
Well,
three of them.
4 menu options.
It was these 3 guys, and they went and talked to the professor about it. And they were like, "Hey, this is what we want to do. This is all we want to have. This is
Right.
all we want to do." And the professor was like, "No one. That's not gonna take off. It's gonna be trash." Da, da,
Yeah.
da. And that shit went off.
That food is ass. You like Cane's?
It's simple. It's all
Bro,
right.
I had Cane's. The first
I-
time I had Cane's was when they had it on campus at ODU.
I had it at campus at VCU.
And I had it, and I was like, this is the hype? And then
When
they
I
put
went to
one right
ODU
over here, and then I tried it again because I was like, maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Because when they opened it, it was around the block.
And
It was
your
a
ass
big
waited
deal.
in that fucking line, and
I
you
did.
called me, and I was like, "Bro, no, I'm not waiting in that line with you."
I did, and I was like,
Fuck no.
I was like, I need to try this shit one more time. Like, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm misinformed. Maybe I got the wrong opinion. And sure enough, that shit was ass again.
I wouldn't say it's
That shit
ass.
was
It's
ass,
just
bro.
simple. Like, it's just
The
simple
bread,
shit.
the bread is ass.
The Texas toast?
The sauce is ass.
Texas
Oh, bro,
toast?
you gotta try it with the sauce. The sauce is
I don't like the
ass,
cane
bro.
sauce. I
It's
don't-
just like I don't get it. I don't
Have-
get it. I don't get the hype.
We used to go to VCU, and them kids up there when they would just have hella swipes left over.
Yeah.
So we go up there, we pretty much bring all the alcohol or whatever, right? And all the Jordan's friends or whatever was like, "Yo, I need y'all to help me use all my swipes."
What's swipes? What's that?
So they got
It's like the Chinese spot, like at the mall. If you keep the thing and you get the 10th
No.
one for free.
no, when
Okay.
you're a freshman at most colleges, you have to have a meal plan if
Oh,
you live on
okay.
campus.
Okay.
So that
You lived on
comes with-
campus?
No.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So they had a certain number of swipes,
Yeah.
which means you can get a meal per swipe.
Oh shit, yeah. My ex-girlfriend did have that.
So
I remember that. She would
they-
always tell me about that.
They had
yeah.
to do that,
Mhm.
but majority of the time these motherfuckers wouldn't really eat there, or they just do other shit. And then when we come in town, they'd be like, "Bro, fuck it." So we'd literally go to fucking Cane's or whatever and get 12, 15 things meals
Mhm.
from there, bro. And sometimes the shit would just go to waste or whatever.
Mhm.
But it would be me, Darian, Jordan, all of us, and that should be pretty good.
Mhm.
Wake up the next morning eating Cane's.
Mm.
I thought that shit was fire. I'm not gonna lie.
What's the best food left over in the fridge in the morning when you wake up?
Pizza.
Pizza, Chinese food, bro. Cold lo mein. Oh,
Nah.
are you kidding? Cold Chinese food, bro? Oh my god.
I mean, I've eaten it cold. I eat a lot of food cold, and my girl gets pissed off at me. She's like, "Chanel, you need to microwave that."
I should have said excluding pizza because pizza is obviously the choice.
Eat that pussy like cold pizza.
There you go. So what's the other outside of pizza? What's your choice?
Spaghetti.
So you laughed at cold Chinese food. For you
Spaghetti.
to say cold spaghetti.
Yeah.
The hell is wrong with you? Like
I'll-
spaghetti and red sauce?
Yeah.
Cold?
Yes.
That's fucking crazy, bro. Are you kidding me?
yes.
You scoffed at Chinese food just to tell me tomato sauce and
I don't.
spaghetti.
I don't like the cold General Tso sauce. General Tso sauce. Cold. It's just not my shit. Rice, cool. Spaghetti, I eat spaghetti cold.
Cold fried rice is crazy. That's just amazing.
What else? Chicken Alfredo. I like
Cold chicken
I don't mind
Alfredo.
cold pasta.
I'm trying to think of some other cold foods.
That is supposed to be generally hot.
Yeah.
I don't
Calamari?
know. I don't. eat
Yo,
calamari.
cold calamari.
I don't eat calamari. That shit's
Banger, bro.
nasty. When we fucking went to Bay Local and Ashley handed me supposed to be calamari and it was a freaking jalapeno,
Yeah.
bro, I was so pissed, bro. She's like, "Oh my god, Trell, I'm so sorry." I was like, "You motherfucker." That shit was gross, bro. So they're out here saying Carnival Cruise Lines is racist.
Why is that?
So Carnival Cruise came out and they came out with some new rules, right?
Okay.
So some of these.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before you get into this, did you see the dad that jumped in to the ocean? Did you see that on the?
No.
I don't know if it was Carnival, but one of the cruise ships.
No.
He put his daughter on the ledge
Mhm.
to take a photo of her, and she fell off the off the thing into the ocean. he jumped over like to go fucking save her and shit, and like they were good, but like he had to like tread water for like a half hour until the boats came and shit. But like imagine that, bro. Like you fucking dropped your daughter over the ledge,
Dumbass.
and then it's like now you gotta jump. Imagine now you gotta jump down that shit. Imagine that.
You'd have to.
Yeah, it's like you got to now. Like it's not like you have to jump.
What floor? Like how
It was
high?
it was high up. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the heights of cruise ships, but like
Because it depends. Are they on the Lido deck?
nah, they
Like,
were up there, bro. Because I was watching the video and I was like, God damn, bro. Like that's a. It was definitely higher than this third story right here. It was up there.
Oh well, yeah.
It was up there.
So like I'm saying, was it like okay? Did you see like a bunch of beach chairs and shit out there, or was
Nah,
it like
they was
in their
in-
room?
They was in the ocean.
No, I'm saying
what
before
do
he
you
fell
mean?
off the balcony. Was he like in like the room or whatever, or was he like on like the deck where you see like a bunch of like beach chairs and pools?
Nah.
and shit?
He was in his room. Like
Oh,
on
he
the
was in
little
his
private
room.
deck. It was like a
Oh,
small little deck.
okay.
And he jumped off that shit, bro.
When I'm sitting here thinking you're talking Lido deck, the Lido deck's typically like 10th floor.
Bro, imagine that. Because now, like, if you don't do that, if you don't jump, now your wife is looking at you crazy. Your,
Oh, you
other,
got
your
this?
other kids is looking at you crazy.
But it's
oh,
damn.
Oh, he's good.
Because he had a helmet on.
Yeah, oh, shit.
Oh, he don't know where the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they about to ask that nigga a couple questions. What's 5 plus 5?
Nah, but now if you're
21.
if your daughter survives, then it's like she's looking at you crazy. Everybody's looking at you crazy.
Dumbass nigga.
So you gotta.
Hit him in the face.
Nah, it looks like his shot. Oh, he's good. He's good. His shoulder, then the helmet. Oh, he's all right. He's cool. That shit gets real sketchy though, baseball.
Hell yeah.
When you get
That shit look like it hit him in the face.
shit, I remember when I played in high school, this kid got hit in the head. And granted, you know, you're not really throwing that hard as a kid, like 17. But actually, no, some kids were throwing in the 80s.
My brother
Yeah.
throws what was it, 87?
Yeah, yeah. Like some of them kids get up there. So I remember this one kid. Matter of fact, the dude we saw online when we were voting. What was his name again?
The guy I was talking to?
Yeah,
Ryan?
yeah. Yeah, he I believe it was him. I think he got hit in the head with the pitch and shit. And it was like, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It was crazy, man. Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, baseball's no joke.
We're gonna get on my carnival story, but 1
Oh,
second.
my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. We're gonna get on that story in a second. But one of the guys that I work with, he plays like softball, like with like the adult leagues around here or whatever. And he was at a game, and one of the guys was like standing like outside of like the cage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy try to throw the ball from third to first.
Mm-hmm.
Bad throw.
Yeah.
Hit the guy in the fucking face, right?
Yeah.
The guy, he went down.
Yeah.
Got back up, like 5-10 minutes later, fell back out.
Yeah.
They ended up taking this motherfucker to the hospital, concussion or whatever.
Yeah.
He was in a coma. He died.
Softball?
Yes,
When was this?
like last year.
He died, bro.
He died.
Yeah, like brain bleeding or something?
Yeah,
Bro, how old was he? He was older?
I don't want to say older. He's probably like 30s, 40s.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when we all go play pickleball and they're playing softball out there, that shit's kind of like scary, bro. Not scary, but it's like they be hitting that hard crazy. And like if you're pitching and that shit come right back at you, or like you're playing third base or first base, whatever, it's some freak shit that could happen, you know? So
Yeah, most
especially
people
you
be
got
playing
people
shit.
that, they think they're fucking Barry Bonds and shit, trying to, relive the heyday back in
Yeah.
the day, and they want to yoke the hell out of that ball to try to prove something. And then you got some dude that's playing third base, and he's just out there just having a good time and shit.
Out here
And-
just trying to get exercise, get away from his wife.
Yeah, now he's got a line drive coming at his head because this fucking guy. Yeah, man, it's wild. That's wild. Just I mean, shit. Even basketball at the park. You run with the
Facts.
you wrong with
Yeah.
you run with the wrong people. They take that shit serious. They be ready to fight over that shit.
Motherfuckers
It's
be trying
like,
to dunk
yo,
and
I'm
shit.
just out here trying to shoot some hoops, get a
Yeah.
little 60 minutes of play. You out here trying to fucking.
I mean, we've definitely got like
Scrap.
a little hot. We've definitely got a little hot at
Yeah.
the basketball court, but like regularly like talking shit or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. But like, I don't think we've ever like or about to. I think one time someone knocked off Darian's glasses, and that's one of the worst things you can do with a nigga with glasses is knock off his fucking.
It was
glasses.
accidental, right?
Yeah, but
That's
still.
what I'm saying.
But it was like
that's where it
but-
escalates.
But we were like in there, and it was like motherfuckers was like trying to like
Yeah.
fight for a rebound or whatever, and hit him in the face and knock off his glasses.
And then Darian was mad about it.
Hell yeah!
See, that's
Because
the
it's like,
thing.
bro, we're out here having fun,
Yeah.
and you out here going mad crazy trying to get a fucking rebound. You knock my damn glasses off, bro.
Oh man.
That shit would piss me off.
Yeah.
Now, Carnival Cruise. So they end up coming out with these new rules, right? So they now put a curfew on the teenagers, right? So the teenagers, guests under 18, got to be in the room before 1 a.m. unless they're with like an adult in their party that's over 21, right?
Okay.
So that's okay. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you, because these kids do be out till 3, 4 a.m.
Okay.
being a fucking menace and a pain in the ass.
Okay.
Them little niggas piss me off.
Okay.
Don't mind that. Age policy, that's just a regular thing. You know, solo cruisers must be, if they're 21, you got to be with someone at least 25. You can't book a cruise unless you're 25 and older by yourself.
Okay.
Right? Fan ban. So this is what a lot of people are talking about. They ban the fans that clack. So you can still have a personal like fan that, you know, you was battery operated and shit like that, but none of them big like fans that you see people do that.
Why is that?
I don't know. The
Okay.
pool chair rule: if you leave your chair for more than 40 minutes unattended, the crew are going to be able to clear your items.
Okay.
Behaviors and consequences disruptive guests can be removed with no refunds and fines up to $500.
Okay. Where's the racist part at?
So this is the racist part.
Okay.
They said no more hip hop music. So people are now interpreting that.
How is that racist?
Huh?
How is that racist?
Because who do people typically identify with hip hop music? African Americans.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We were talking about this the other day
Mm-hmm.
when you were saying, I forgot what the conversation was, but you said growing up, your dad, right, doesn't listen to hip hop because he doesn't want to hear all that, crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad's black.
Yeah. My dad still listened to R&B, but he's listened to hip hop. That was more so on the cussing side, though. He just didn't like music.
But
with too much
my
cussing.
point is, right, I don't think it's a racial thing. I think it's, if this is a family environment,
It doesn't need to be a family environment. Take them fucking kids home.
hell no.
Oh, and no speakers too.
If I pay-
no personal speakers.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
If I'm out in the common areas by the pool and I got my 2 kids, I listen to hip hop, right? That doesn't mean that I want my 4-year-old kid to hear all that crazy shit. Like just because you want to play some shit. Like
I agree with the no speakers part, but they said no hip hop music, like even in the club where it's 21 and older, and they were saying because
really?
Yeah,
See, I
no
agree.
hip-
I disagree with that.
no hip hop music at all.
I disagree with that. That's wild.
So the entire fleet, and they were because leading to fighting and some more shit.
Damn, everybody's just getting knocked out of this game. Damn.
That shit hit him right in the face. This is Johnny.
Hold on, Adam.
I just told him hold up.
So you said,
So no hip hop music at all.
fuck
And
that. I
that's what I'm
disagree
saying.
with that. I thought
They're
it was just
saying
like
it's
around.
racist.
Now, in
No.
like family areas, I would be like, okay, I understand that. Because it's like, come on.
Oh, and the wobble song. They banned the wobble song. So if you ever been on a Carnival cruise, like I'm pretty sure everyone who's gone on a cruise knows like the wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble
Yeah.
baby, wobble. Yeah.
They banned that?
It's yes, and
Why?
it's
That shit's lame.
yeah.
Just
there's
because of
leading to
that, I
issues and some more shit.
wouldn't even go on Carnival.
But a lot of people are saying that like more and more like things, like more and more companies are probably going to try to institute that. And I've seen a lot of black people going back and forth saying, it's not a ban against black people. it's not, you know, black fatigue. It's nigga fatigue. And they tired of niggas being up there fucking shit up, showing they ass, acting ridiculous. You know, they got no problem with black people, you know, trying to follow rules and do some more shit. Like just trying to be peaceful people. But when you out there trying to fight, trying to bring like weed and some more shit that a lot of people typically identify with having like a problem with, then that's where they don't like that. So I don't know. I mean, the hip hop ban for me is a little much, especially like in the clubs. Like we're all adults and things like that. But if you want to start instituting, you know, people, hey, yo, if you fight, it's a problem and cool. You can get arrested or dropped off in the port. But like motherfuckers fight the country music. And I'm pretty sure you go to a country bar, you can fight there too. So I don't like the hip hop band necessarily speaking, especially like the wobble. Like that's such like a, if you go on a cruise, bro, you'll see it's like a wide variety of people. Someone knocking on the door? Allegedly. And we're back.
So rude.
I'm tired of people fucking trying to interrupt us. This is fucking ridiculous. Now there's more shit I gotta fucking edit. Ugh.
What, Diddy, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, did you finish up your well, I guess let's put a button on that.
I mean,
if they listen, that's lame as hell. I don't want to go on a carnival or a cruise if I can't listen to like hip hop. You know what I mean? That's like my favorite music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of lame, especially if I'm at like the bar or something, and it's like I gotta listen to fucking Bon Jovi and shit. Fuck that.
I don't. That's the thing. Like they definitely play Spanish music, and they probably still play pop. So like music that is hip hop, like hip hop music is pop, you know. So you're not gonna tell me you're gonna just start cutting pop music. Like I don't know, like if it's like they're trying to get rid of like Sexy Red or like what are they trying? Because I've been on several Carnival cruises. I've never once heard NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't heard like your Lil Uzi. Like
Well,
no
that's why
rap.
that's why I thought you were trying to go, or that's what they were gonna do when you brought it up. And it was just going to be like public areas if you have it on the speakers and shit like that. I agree with that. You know what I mean? Because if there's kids and shit around, it's like, okay, like, you know.
No, but
hip hop is kind of vulgar and shit, like, you know, depending on what you're playing. So, like, compared to other genres of music, that's just a fact. You know what I mean? That's not, I don't think that's, you know.
Hungry.
Huh? That's not a false statement right there. You know?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, if it was just that, I would agree with it. But, you know, just everywhere, like even in the club, little club sections. They got clubs on the cruises.
Yeah. I've been on
that shit. That's corny.
Several.
They should. I don't agree with that.
But they'd be in it like literally. They'd be in the club shaking ass. Like it's like a legit like club. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's usually like the comedy club or some shit like that. They just turn into a
I don't agree with that.
I think it's weird, and I understand. You know, people being upset. I absolutely understand. Like the no speakers part, that shit is annoying. Yes, I don't feel as if people should have their fucking speakers on board. Like again, like you were saying, I don't want to be sitting here at my table trying to eat breakfast and you're running around here playing some bullshit. Like I don't want to hear Kevin Gates sitting here talking about up your legs, kick your dick. I'm running.
But you know, in the same breath,
hear that.
In the same breath, I'll say that it's not even just hip hop. It's like I can't stand country music. So if there's
I don't want to hear country
music. So if there's
music
somebody
either.
on their personal speakers playing country, I'm like, yo, turn that shit off. If anything, was that the door again?
I don't know.
If anything, I'd rather hear hip hop on somebody's, you know, mobile speaker.
I'd rather not hear no music.
Well, yeah, I'd rather nobody play music on their.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to eat my fucking omelet. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear no fucking sitting on my granddaddy's chair. Like, bro, I love Kane Brown. Thank you, but just not right now. I eat my pancakes, bacon. I don't know. So, like I said, I understand where people are coming from, but the speaker ban, absolutely there for the no hip hop music. They can eat a dick on that. That seems ridiculous for me because at what point where are we gonna draw the line? If we would have said drill music, sure. If we would have said no more Diddy, sure, I get it. No more R. Kelly, okay, I get it. But like hip hop is so large, and it is seem like it's. I won't even say necessarily targeted to black people, but more so the African American culture. So like, and that entails like other people can still be a part of said culture. So, Diddy,
he got well. He didn't get off, but
yeah, he is found guilty on 2 counts: transportation to engage in prostitution. Mann Act 1 count involving ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, and another involving another woman known as Jane.
I think he's gonna get off. I think the real.
So he can see up to 10 years each count, so 20 years in prison.
See, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't really been paying all that much attention to this. But the only egregious thing that I've seen out of this is the whole elevator situation between him and Cassie when he was like, dragging her down the hall and shit like that.
Yes.
But outside of that, I mean,
I watched the doc where this one girl said that, he like.
Well, I'm not talking about like he say, she say. I'm just talking about some shit that I can genuinely see with my eyes. And that.
See, that's.
Hold on, no, but let me finish. No,
Trinell,
like let me finish though.
That sounds horrible.
No. Let me, Trinell. What I'm saying is, we just had a whole case about all that. About he say, she say, blah, 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 whatever. He got acquitted of all that RICO shit and everything else, right? So cool. I'm just talking about, my point is, the only egregious thing that I saw was the whole Cassie thing being dragged down the hall, right?
You weren't in the jury though.
Huh?
You weren't part of the jury though. You didn't watch.
Well, obviously they didn't see anything either that made them convict him of other shit, except the prostitution stuff. Which in reality, I mean, who the fuck cares about that? You know what I mean? Because
it's illegal,
right? But what I'm saying is,
God damn, these pictures fucking suck.
What I'm saying is, on that level, everybody's doing that. Everybody's paying for sex. Everybody's doing that. On that scale, when you got money like that, everybody's flying girls out, and that's what they were saying is that flying girls out was prostitution.
No,
everybody does that.
That's not prostitution.
No, but that's what they were saying was that he was okay.
Cool. When you give someone money
right.
for sex, that's prostitution. When you fly them out for the purpose of prostitution.
So what do you think about prostitution? If it's consensual,
it's wrong.
Even if it's consensual,
no.
Okay, so
but you don't know if it's consensual or not.
What would make it not consensual?
Coercion.
Coercion in what regard?
These women get picked up. These women get trafficked. They get brought into this life. They're told, "Hey, you have to do this."
He got acquitted on the trafficking charge.
Okay,
though.
I'm not talking about that.
I'm just talking about in the context of the Diddy
that's
situation.
What I'm trying to tell you. Give me a chance. He sits there. He transports a girl to fuck her, right?
Okay.
Paying the money for that. She's getting told, "Hey, I'm bringing you here to do X, Y, and Z, and if you do all this, I'll get you this green card or whatever."
Yeah.
Far as Diddy's aware of, he's just paying for the sex. But you don't know what situation she's in. So in her mind, she's sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm cool with that. I consent to do this because I want to get this green card, from this guy over here who's facilitating this whole deal. Mm-hmm. You don't know what the other party's going through. So in your mind, hey, yes, you could just be paying. You're thinking you're just paying for a girl who's doing this.
But that's not his problem. No, it's not.
Yes.
If I'm saying, yo, I got $2,500. Like, let's cut the chase. Like, I could take you out to dinner. I could do this. I could do that. I can trick off on you. Cool. Let's just avoid all that, right? I know why you're here. You know why I'm here. I don't see anything wrong with that. As long as it's just you don't completely. She's down for it. It's just like I don't see nothing wrong with it.
You don't know what she's going through. You don't know what her life is. You don't know what
that don't got nothing to do with me.
Yes,
bro.
it does.
No, it don't.
Because if you hire a prostitute,
everybody, bro,
and she has to go report back to a pimp or whatever, and that nigga is whooping her ass and all that shit, she is not. She's not trying to be in that situation. Just because you aren't aware of her situation, You're just sitting here thinking, "Oh, I'm just trying to fuck this girl and pay for it." You think all the guys who are sitting here fucking these girls that are prostitutes, they think that, oh, they're just doing this because they want to.
Let me ask you something.
No, some of these women are forced into this shit.
Do you think Diddy, and this is just like, I have no information. Do you think that Diddy is having relations with girls that have quote unquote pimps that are being pimped out? Or do you think they're women that are like IG models? They're like these type of, individuals. And he's just saying, yo, I got $25,000. What's up? Now, sure, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you in the sense of, yo, if it's a pimp situation or that trafficking type of whatever, yes. I think that through their investigations, if they would have found that he was linked to some sort of underground sex ring, shit would have went a whole different direction. That's what leads me to believe that he was probably just indulging in women that were just of, high stature, you know what I mean? Like Instagram models, whatever, and just saying, yo, here's a bag, come through, blah, blah, blah. What's up?
Even then, I seen some
And
of the girls
I don't think
that
there's
sat
nothing
there.
wrong with that because those girls be down with it. They post on Instagram to try to go fishing for somebody to fly them out.
Some of the girls who are actually going to these events, though, right? They're told, hey, I'm trying to sit there, give you this $25K, and I just want you to fuck me. And they show up to the event, and it's like, hey, I got these 2-3 niggas I want you to fuck. I'm not gonna fuck, but I want you to fuck these 2-3 niggas.
And she can walk right out. That's where you will call me insensitive when we have these conversations.
Yes.
Everybody has choices in life, bro.
You don't know.
But
you don't.
Trinell.
First of all, you're sitting here talking from the privilege.
What's that
being
button
a
you just
man.
pressed?
None of your damn business.
You
Don't
muted
worry about
me.
it. No, your mic is right here.
Oh, okay. What was that then?
I just changed the menu.
Oh, but Trinell, you call me insensitive and stuff like that.
Because you don't know what it's like to be a woman. Neither
Right,
do I.
Trinell,
Neither one of us know what it's like
that.
to be a woman.
Cool.
So if
Trinell,
hold on.
Hold on. Real quick, let me finish my thought.
No, because your thought is wrong.
Hold on, real
You're
quick.
sitting here
But
talking about as a man.
How you just gonna
Because your
dismiss
thought
your
is
thing? How
wrong.
you gonna-
Because your
why?
thought is
Why
wrong.
you just gonna
Because I
dismiss my
know
thoughts
you.
like that?
Because I know you.
How you go? Why you gotta dismiss me like that?
Because
my
I know how
point is,
you
but
are.
See, you're making
you're
it
very insensitive.
No.
And you only think
But
about
you're
from
being
your standpoint as a
misogynistic.
man.
You're being very
How am I being
misogynistic.
misogynistic?
You want me to
First of
tell
all,
you why?
As a
Hold
woman,
on, let me tell you
as
how
a
you're
woman,
being
if she goes to an
misogynistic.
event, now you're muted. Now, so as a woman going to an event, a woman goes to an event, right? She shows up to an event. You don't know she could go there so she goes there, right? She's sitting here thinking, cool, if I sit here and do this, I'm just trying to fuck this dude. Cool, blah, blah, blah. I have no problem with that, right? She pulls up and now it's a different scenario.
Right.
Out of fear.
Okay.
Because, first of all, she just walked past these 2 6'8" big buff neck niggas at the front door, and now these other big ass stronger men men that are stronger than them. And they're sitting, hey yo, go fuck them. They do that out of fear. Not every woman is. I'm not saying every woman is willing. Is not willing.
Right.
Some women are like, fucking cool. Yeah, I don't give a fuck
Right.
that. But there are definitely some women who have been in that situation who've done it out of fear.
But I'll say this: what you're saying, in my eyes, is misogynistic. Because I think man, woman, other, whatever you are, you have a choice in life. You have choices that you can make for yourself, whether you're a man or a woman. Everybody's got choices, bro. And that's my point. Is like, if you're part of this lifestyle, right? There's girls that, like I said, they go fishing for that. They know they look good. They know they're attractive. They know they're bad. They're on Instagram. They're doing photo shoots. They know they're fishing for the ball players. They're fishing for these dudes that are well off that can fly them out and take them to Turks and take them to all these different spots.
So
that's the lifestyle. And hold on, let me finish. That's the lifestyle. That's the lifestyle that they're going for. That's the lifestyle that they live. Now, if somebody hit the DMs and be like, yo, come through, blah, 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 and they go out, have a good time, whatever, cool. On the other side, there might be somebody that hits them like, yo, I got 35 racks. You know what I mean? What's up? You know what I mean? And they might be cool with it. They might be down with it. In my eyes, I don't think anything's wrong with it as long as it's consensual. because it's basically the same thing as if a dude courted a woman, bought her a bag, did all these things. It's like, all right, bro, let's cut to the chase. I don't want to do all that.
Okay,
You don't want to do all that. I'm just trying to do X, Y, and Z. I got 35 racks. And then you're gonna say, well, you don't know what she got going on. Again, that don't got nothing to do with me, bro.
Cool.
Because
So, I heard everything you said.
in that context, it's a job, right? She can go get a job and fix whatever financial hardship she has, or she can get this 35 racks and be straight. So that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's got a choice. She don't gotta take the 35. You know what I mean? But she can take the 35
So let's
if
say,
she's
for
down with
example-
it.
But okay, so let's say, for example, like I
Okay.
said, because it was actually said in the court documents,
Right.
in the court proceedings,
Right.
there was a woman who showed up sitting there thinking that all she was gonna sit there and do was fuck Diddy.
Right.
And he was in there. He's like, "Yo, I want you to go fuck these other 2-3 niggas."
Then
So
she can
when-
leave, bro.
But
that's
you
what
don't.
I'm saying.
But you don't know that though. Like, say for example, right? Cool. She doesn't feel comfortable with leaving, right?
Right.
And so let's say she tries to leave or whatever. Niggas punching her face. Bitch, did you fucking hear what I said?
But that didn't happen.
You don't know. And
Otherwise,
on
that
top
would
of
have been as much as they dove into all this.
You don't know.
They would have found some shit, bro.
A-
Obviously, if he's about to walk, they
you
didn't
don't-
find nothing,
First of all,
bro.
so you mean to tell me the justice system is always right?
No.
Exactly. So you don't know. Just because someone's found guilty, just because someone's found innocent doesn't mean they weren't necessarily guilty.
Right.
That's number
I agree
one.
with that.
Number two, also, just because it didn't happen, some of these women have fear that could happen. So instead of even putting themselves in that predicament,
So why even show up, bro?
because
That's what
they're
I'm
sitting
saying.
here.
No,
so,
bro.
So blame the women.
No.
Cool.
No.
I'm with you.
No,
that's fine.
No.
I'm
Trinell,
not on your
'cause
side.
you're not about to put
but
words in
you-
my mouth.
You blame women.
But at the same time,
Blame
like,
the women.
hold up.
It's all their fault.
Trinell, like I said before, just
Women
how I
are
said,
wrong.
no.
Women who are sexually assaulted, it's their fault.
No.
That's
See
what
why?
James is
But why
saying.
you gotta dismiss me like that?
That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not, bro. But what I'm saying is just like when I just said that men or women, no matter what you are, you have choices in life. Men, women, no matter what you are, you got to be held accountable for your decisions. You know what I mean? If you know that you're in this crazy situation, you shouldn't have even put yourself in that situation. I'm not saying it's right
The
that
situations can change.
it don't matter, bro. If you're a part of that
Okay.
life, no, Trinell. If you're part of that life, if you're walking that edge, you gotta be ready for anything that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but if you're in that life of sex work and everything, things can
It's
go
your
left
fault.
real quick in that world, bro.
So it's their fault.
No, I'm not saying that.
So what are you saying?
Bro? Just like a cop, if you sign up to be a cop. You know what's up. You can go out, get shot and killed,
And
and
it's his
get in
fault.
a sticky situation.
Is it his
No,
fault?
because you keep saying you keep trying to say that I'm blaming. I'm not blaming anybody.
You-
but there's a reality.
But
to,
you don't hear what you're
bro,
saying.
no,
you're
you're
literally
not.
saying.
But you're not listening to me because what
I am listening
what
to
I'm
you,
saying
but what
is-
you are, you're sounding
Bro,
real ignorant, and I'm
I'm
trying to tell
not,
you,
bro.
because what you're saying is, if you show up to something, and just because you're part of that lifestyle, you should be able. Hey, if you pick this lifestyle,
Yes.
so it's your fault.
No, what I'm saying is if you're a cop, right, and you
Okay.
get shot and killed on the job,
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying it's the cop's fault. But I'm saying he knew going into this that this was a possibility. I'm not saying that you keep saying that I'm putting blame on anybody. I'm not doing that. You could be. It's unfortunate that it went that way, but that's the lane that you're in.
So the blame has to be assigned.
There's
to
no
someone.
blame. You keep saying that I'm blaming somebody. There's no blame to be put on anybody.
So,
it's just
No,
circumstantial.
There has to be
Why has it got to be a blame?
blame has to be assigned to someone.
Because you keep
Because if something bad happens, it's like, okay, whose fault is this?
I see what you're saying, right? So the cop scenario, it would be the bad guy's fault. In the sex work situation,
he
it would be the guy's fault or whoever. If we're talking about a woman,
Yeah, but so she got assaulted,
right?
and you're sitting there
But
saying,
no, I'm just, bro. You're in that world.
You're
bro.
saying, why would you put yourself in that?
yes.
predicament?
Would you want your
Just-
daughter to be a sex worker,
If that's what she decides to do with her life, would I want it personally? No,
bro?
Would
that-
I?
yeah,
hold
no,
on.
no, no.
Would I
Trinell,
want it
stop,
personally?
Stop. Would you
No.
want your daughter to be a sex worker?
What I want doesn't matter.
What do you? Yes or no?
What I want doesn't matter.
Why are you dancing around the shit? If your daughter came home, yo, I'm a whore. I'm a fucking sex worker, bro. I'm a prostitute. I fuck for $1. What are you going? You gonna be tight, bro.
What?
You gonna be tight. You gonna be like, yo, no.
What is wrong? Like, is it? Is there something
bro, you be doing this shit?
you
But
need
why would you be
counseling?
mad? Why
Huh?
would you be mad? You would be upset, right? Or
I would- I
disappointed,
would
or
ask
whatever
her if everything's
word
okay.
that you want to pin to it.
I'll ask her, is everything okay in her life?
Come on, bro.
Is there
All right,
anything that
all
she
right,
needs?
we can turn this off now because now you lying to me.
No
You
one's
would be
lying.
tight that your daughter's a sex worker.
If that's what if we're
Oh
talking about
my
OnlyFans
God.
or some shit
I'm
like
talking about on the street, bro. I'm talking about sex work.
that, everything is.
I'm talking about
situational.
this Diddy situation. If that was your daughter and she was going to these freak offs, you would be tight, yes or no?
Yes.
But why would you be tight? Because you know what goes down in that world, right or
Yes.
wrong. That is all I'm saying.
Okay.
You know what world that is. You know what comes with that world.
Okay.
I'm not putting blame on her. I'm not putting blame on this person. Obviously, if something nefarious happens to the girl, it's the guy's fault. Obviously, so I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying shit goes down in that world. So you can't be mad. Well, you can be mad, but it's like
and that's where you
no.
lose me.
Okay,
You can be upset.
right. I'm saying
someone
but what I'm saying is
takes it from you.
No, but she's got to
'Cause
be
you
no.
are a hoe.
My point is all parties got to be accountable. It can't just be like, oh well, she's no. She's got to have some. You got to have some sort of accountability for your
Now,
decisions.
if you go to a job though, if you go to a job and you sit here, you're not expecting one thing. If you go on site to try to do something, right? And then something crazy happens, like let's say for example, right? One of our homeboys goes out to clean a pool. They fall into a pool and drown.
That's not the same.
I mean,
thing, bro.
But
That's
you
not
should
the same
expect it.
thing.
You know it's possible.
That's not the same
You
thing,
can't
bro.
swim.
That's not the
You
same
buy
thing.
a pool of water.
You giving false analogies now. It's
I'm
not
not
even the
giving
same,
false
bro.
analogies.
It's not the same.
Anything's possible.
It's the same thing, bro. You get into coke, right? And
The vending machine falls on you.
what? I'm talking about cocaine.
Oh, I'm thinking.
No, man.
I thought you were talking about
You get into
Coca-Cola.
coke, right? You and some people you know, y'all doing X, Y, and Z,
Uh-huh.
and then, 5 months in, somebody gets a bad batch, and you OD, God forbid, on whatever.
Mhm.
But like, it's not your fault, right? But that's just you're in that world, bro. So shit goes left in that world. That's all I'm saying is like, you got to have some accountability for partaking in that. Now we can say, "Oh, prayers to Chanel," blah blah blah. It's like, bro, yes, of course, but Chanel shouldn't have been playing with his nose at the same time. Like,
But that's still
what I'm
blaming
saying.
me.
Because you shouldn't have been doing that.
Okay.
So yes,
But-
there's
but-
blame on you. She should not be doing
So
that.
cool. You're still putting blame on her. That's all I was trying to get you to get
all
to.
right, bro.
That's what you just said.
It's not blame.
You just said blame is on her too.
It's,
You
no,
just
no, no.
said it.
I'm talking about accountability, bro. I'm talking about accountability.
Okay,
Accountability, that's different than blame. In my eyes, you gotta be held accountable for your actions.
Okay, so she needs to be held accountable if something were to happen to her.
Yes, because you're playing in that playground. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is we shouldn't blame women. and we
Obviously,
shouldn't say
they're
something.
at fault as well, of course. Nobody's saying that. But there's got to be, it takes two to tango. That's all I'm saying. It takes two to tango. There's it's a duality there. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just on team women, and I feel like we should protect women.
Of
at all
course.
times.
No, I'm on that team too. Don't get it twisted. But at
That's
the
what
same time, it's like, bro,
it's sounding real twisted up.
nah, bro. You twist because you're trying to twist my words.
I'm not trying
All
to
I'm
twist your
saying
words.
is,
I feel like,
but see, this isn't even a woman specific thing. That's why I brought up the cocaine thing, where it's like if you're in a underworld scenario,
Mhm.
you gotta be prepared for what the circumstances of those underworld shit, circumstances entail. That's all I'm saying. If you're playing in the underworld, you gotta.
Okay, so but would you feel bad
Would I feel bad with what? What are you talking about?
if something were to happen to someone that is in that underworld?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, you don't want anybody to be hurt in any situation, but at the same time, it's like it's different. Like somebody getting hurt doing some, underground shit like that,
Mhm.
versus somebody just getting run over in the street. It's like, oh, but you were like playing with the devil. You know what I mean? You were kind of like out here. You were. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Is if
I got I mean, you can say what you say. I still got my
Nah.
I still got my closing remark that, I don't feel as if, just because you are in that situation,
Right.
that doesn't mean that you need to be you should have to accept, anyone doing anything to you. I just don't feel like that's okay, regardless of whatever profession you're in. If you choose to, be a sex worker or anything like that, I don't feel as if, it's necessarily like, oh, well, you got to take accountability if someone decides to take it from you and not pay you, like, Or if you agree to do a job, you should do a job. And it's like, hey, yo, you got to do 3 times the amount of work. It's like, yo, bro, that's not what was agreed upon. And then, as a woman, you may not feel strong enough, big enough in order to leave said situation.
Right.
So so you sit there, you do it out of fear because you don't
Was
want
that the
to.
door?
I don't know. You don't want to get beat up.
think that's
or
Johnny.
You don't want to leave. And we're back. Sorry, we got a slight interruption. Demons had to get the door for Johnny.
Big GAT in the building.
Facts. But like I said, at the end of the day, just because some things happen, to you. Oh my God. My dad's calling me. I'm not gonna answer it. I'm busy. I'm not gonna sit here and say that's right. So that was pretty much all I had to say. I don't feel like it's right.
So how long do you think he's gonna get? I'm not a legal expert, but
they say the recommended sentence for these types of crimes, he can get up to 10. They say 2 to 5.
I don't think he's gonna get that. I think he's gonna walk. I think they're gonna do time.
He got to sit down for something.
Nah, for what?
He got to sit down.
Yeah, I think he's got, because he's been in jail almost a year. So even if they give him 2 or 3, he's in there for another year or 2. I think he's just got too much money. They gonna let him walk. They gonna be like, all right,
He might got to sit down for.
Nah, if he gets more than like 3 years, I'd be surprised.
He might get like 2, 3 each charge. So sit down for about 4 to 6 years.
Nah.
Might get out on good.
Hell no.
On good.
No way. I'd be
good
surprised.
treatment.
I'd be surprised if that's the case. Well,
But
what was the other charge?
Sentencing's both of them, both the same thing.
Was the prostitution?
Transportation of prostitution or prostitutes.
Nah, they gonna let him walk because they gonna look at the actual, like, okay, what was he actually doing? And they gonna look at it and be like, oh, he was just flying girls out.
It's illegal though.
You see that's
It's still illegal.
that I don't care about that.
You don't care about the law. We're talking about law shit.
no.
If you break the law, you go to jail.
No, but I'm saying there's got to be a little bit of like.
There should be different laws for rich people.
No.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is the context in which he was paying for prostitutes, right? Like I said, if he was connected to some
What other
crazy
context
sex
is it?
ring,
You paid
yes.
for sex. You gave a
bro,
woman money.
I disagree
have
with
sex
that.
with her.
I disagree with that. I mean, we could just end it at. I disagree
Yeah, I was about
with
to say,
that.
you can disagree with it. That
I
doesn't make it
disagree.
less illegal. It doesn't matter. If you have sex with someone and you give them money for said
That shit-
sex,
I don't think as long as
That's illegal.
if everything's on the up and up, I don't think that should be illegal.
it's still illegal though. Just because you don't want it to be illegal doesn't mean it's not illegal.
We can agree to disagree.
There is no agree to disagree. There is a law. It's black and white. If you
That don't
fuck
mean I gotta
someone and
agree.
give them
That don't mean I gotta agree to it.
with the law,
Yeah.
all right. When your ass,
What are you talking about? Weed was illegal for like forever, and then
Okay.
there's people that disagreed with that.
Okay.
So they can disagree with the law. I can disagree with that law. I'm not saying I
Just
would.
because you disagree with it
I'm not
doesn't make it
saying I
less
would
illegal.
partake in that.
I'm just saying
I'm not
it's
saying
illegal.
I would pay for a prostitute. I'm just saying if somebody was willing to pay, $5,000 and some girl was down for it and everything was on the up and up, it wasn't on no shady shit or nothing like that. I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still illegal, but that's fine.
What's the difference between that and buying something off Craigslist or something? You know what I mean?
We're not going to compare women to objects. Is what we're not going to do.
Nah, it's a service. A cleaning service or like a
Top
car
me off
detail. Yeah, a mop service.
Top off my fluids.
A mop service.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still illegal. Just because, yeah, it's still illegal. It's fine. Anything else?
That's it, man.
What is it, 20?
Episode 20 in the books.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you for tuning in to episode 20 of Shootin The Shxt podcast. You know, I am your host, TJ. Got my boy Demus over here, and you know, we appreciate delivering this episode to you guys. So please don't forget, as always, to like, comment, subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, TikTok. You know, I don't know, we might make a Twitter or Facebook one of these days. As right now, we don't, because that's lame and for old people. So yeah, don't forget to share with your mom, share with your cat, share with your dog, share with your mom, share with your brother, share with your side chick, your main chick, your side nigga, your main nigga. I don't give a fuck who you share it with, but make sure you share it with someone. You got anything else to add?
That's it.
All right, y'all. On that note, we'll see y'all for episode 21 here soon. But on that note, we out. Bang, boom, bye. See you, nigga.